Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm a registered dietitian. What brings you in today?
I'm just getting my tree allergies looked at.
Your tree allergies looked at? Okay, so do you have a medical diagnosis saying that you're allergic to tree nuts?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
diagnosed when I was probably around 4.
Around 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and do you know kind of what all tree nuts include? Like what kind of nuts are included in the tree nut category?
Basically, as far as I know, all the nuts besides peanuts.
So you can still have peanuts then?
Yes.
Just not any of the other nuts like cashews or almonds or anything like that?
No.
Okay, that sounds good. So what kind of brings you in? Like what's kind of the reason why you wanted to come in today? So you were allergic to tree nuts. What are you trying to like look for?
Well, the other day I was working and I had a sandwich that had pesto on it, and I didn't know that pesto was mixed in with tree nuts, so I'm just trying to get more of a ideal on what's all in, what mixes best with tree nuts and
Okay.
how to avoid them.
Okay, so kind of learning more kind of about what foods include tree nuts and kind of how to avoid those is kind of what you're here for.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about like what you kind of typically like to eat during the day.
During the day, usually work days, I'll just have a sandwich and some chips and maybe something to drink with it, but
Okay.
nothing really fancy or.
Okay, so what are kind of things would you like to put in like inside your sandwiches?
Well, I like my peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that's kind of a staple like go-to sandwich that you like to eat?
Yeah, I've never
Okay.
had any problems with.
Okay, no problems with peanuts. Okay. And then any other kinds of sandwiches you like to eat?
Sometimes I'll just have like your normal turkey and cheese and
Yeah.
mustard and.
Okay. And then do you have anything else with the sandwich? Any fruits or vegetables or?
Sometimes I'll have an apple.
An apple. Okay.
But not too big on the vegetables.
Okay, that's okay. And then what about for dinner? What are some typical dinners that you like to have?
Well, it kind of mixes up.
Okay.
But typically, if like I'm cooking, I'll just stick with like a meat, like a steak or a hamburger, and then
Okay.
like mashed potatoes and
Yeah. So when you have dinner, do you like to go out to restaurants a lot? Do you like to kind of cook for yourself? Like what are kind of do you do kind of a little bit of both?
Kind of a little bit of both, but if it's up to me, normally I won't cook for myself and I'll just go out.
Go out. Okay. So what are some things have you had any allergic reactions when you've been to a restaurant before?
I have.
You have? What?
Yes.
Can you maybe explain a little bit what happened?
I went to an Applebee's once.
Okay.
And I went there and we ate the dinner and everything was fine, and then they brought out this chocolate cake at the end because it was my cousin's birthday, so we were having cake, and then it had some I believe it was almonds kind of crushed around the cake.
Oh, okay. And so you didn't see those before you ate it at all? Okay. And then how severe would you say your allergic reactions are?
Pretty severe.
Pretty severe, like anaphylactic shock and hospital and everything? Okay.
Throat closes up and
okay.
puffy. And
so do you carry around like an EpiPen? Have you been trained in how to use an EpiPen?
Yeah, I know how to
okay.
use one, and I try to carry one, but
okay.
not all the time.
Okay. So you definitely you sound like you're saying you definitely know that you're aware of your allergy and kind of know what to do if you have an allergic reaction, but you kind of just need to know maybe a little bit more about different foods that have the tree nuts and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go, do you go grocery shopping ever?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. So have you kind of gotten any information on reading labels or anything like that?
Not particularly.
Not particularly.
Just looking at the ingredients.
So you do look at the ingredients. So you do
yeah.
kind of read the label a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty aware of it.
You're pretty aware of it. Okay. So when you do read the label, what are some things that you kind of are looking for?
Just anything that's processed with basically any kind of nuts, but peanuts. So, and then obviously if the ingredients have the actual nut in them, then I won't get them. But I steer clear from the actual processing plant too.
Okay, you do that. So that's really good because a lot of times too, manufacturers can't be 100% sure with stuff like that. So really looking at that would be a good option. So kind of what else? You went to the restaurant and you had the allergic reaction. So have you gone back to that restaurant since, or?
I have not.
You have not. Okay. And do you think that's something that maybe is like you're afraid to go back to that restaurant, or is it just like just don't want to? Like, what's kind of the reasoning for that?
Well, I just haven't. I mean, if it comes down to basics, I don't really like Applebee's. But then also they didn't include on the menu that it had almonds on it. It just said the chocolate cake, and they didn't specify.
Okay. So now when you go to restaurants, do you ask about different foods?
Yes.
You do. And what kind of do you ask?
Basically, if this is cooked in like the same pan as like if say if I was ordering rice, if
Mhm.
it got mixed in with some nuts, or if the food itself actually has tree nuts in it, then I steer clear. But if I believe that something might have nuts in it, then I will ask before.
Okay. And are there any restaurants that you've kind of learned to avoid because of that, or that you've kind of
Mm,
had some sort of nervousness going to?
Not really,
Not
because
really.
most every restaurants use nuts. It's not like an uncommon food.
Yeah.
It's very common, so I just have to be self-aware of it.
Yeah, definitely. So what are kind of some things? So you go to the restaurant, you ask about the different kinds of food. Do you ever think about? Do they ever? Have you ever asked for like a specialized menu at all? Or
And that's really never happened to me except once at PF Chang's.
mhm,
I told them about my allergies and they did bring out
they
a
did ring out.
different menu, but most other places do not do that.
Okay. So do you think that's like the staff, as far as when you go to restaurants, do you feel like they're kind of knowledgeable about like your allergy, like if you talk to them about it, or do you feel like you kind of have to be the main person in charge of
Um,
that?
I kind of have to be the main person. I don't want
Hmm.
to bank on other people's
Yeah,
just opinions because you don't know
definitely.
if they know or not. I also usually if I believe something might have nuts in it, then I just will get something else.
Okay. So nuts are kind of oftentimes like a big source of protein. So what are some other protein sources that you like to include in your diet? I know you said a little bit about steak and hamburgers. Is there any other like meats or beans that you like to include in your diet?
Um, yeah, well, I mean, I will buy power bars and stuff
Power
like
bars.
that.
Okay.
Chocolate milk, I like milk, and
Okay.
chocolate milk has a good source of protein in it.
So do you feel like being allergic to tree nuts has kind of hindered like your protein intake, or do you feel like you're kind of getting a good balance of protein intake?
I still get a good
You
balance
still
of it.
think you get a good balance?
Yeah.
And then what about like the other nutritional aspects of your life? Do you feel like you're kind of being able to incorporate all the food groups as well?
Yeah, I believe so. Because
Yeah.
nuts it's more of a topping. People add it
Mhm.
into it. It's not in the main course. So
Mhm.
in that fact, it's kind of easy to avoid because it's not a main menu. It's not like a dairy product.
Yeah.
It's kind of its separate thing. So I don't feel like I'm losing anything.
Okay.
But
But you sometimes it's hard to know kind of the hidden
yeah.
foods that can have some of those nuts. So it's definitely important. It sounds like you're really good at reading the label and looking for that kind of stuff. So it's really good to be proactive about that. Have you had a lot of allergic reactions in the past?
When I was younger, I did.
Okay.
Only a couple have been really my fault. A lot of the times, people giving me things,
Hmm.
they'll either forget or they're not aware of
They're
it,
not aware of it.
and
Yeah.
then I'll eat it not knowing,
Hmm.
and that'll cause the shock. So then I
Okay.
go.
Okay. And have you been like allergy tested since you said you were diagnosed when you were 4, right?
Yeah.
So have you been tested like since then for any other allergies?
I have not,
Okay.
and I've been meaning to do that because I believe it's getting suppressed a little bit.
Can you explain that kind of what you mean by
Um,
that?
about a couple years ago, I went to a reunion and had a rice that had a bunch of almonds in it. And I not knowingly ate a bunch of the rice and it had almonds in it. And I later found out it did, but I never had a reaction.
Okay. So you think it might be kind of like you're starting to maybe outgrow, or it's like not as like severe, or kind of just you might think it might be more specific nuts instead of just the whole branch of tree nuts.
I believe it's more specific because whatever nut they mix in with pesto,
Hmm.
that that sent me into my shock
Okay.
almost immediately.
So like a pine nut, you would think you would be more allergic to.
Yes.
Okay.
Other than an almond or a cashew.
Okay. So do you feel a little bit better then about kind of? So it sounds like you're really good about reading the label, and then there's just the different foods. You seem like you're pretty confident about like the restaurant. Anything about maybe like grocery shopping that you feel kind of stressed out about, or anything that you kind of like feel like you could need some like help with, or more
Um,
like nutrition education on?
Not necessarily. Sometimes with grocery stores, you have to watch like they'll have a homemade bakery, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they will make stuff all together, and they won't have that. 'Cause they all make it in one room, and they
Mm-hmm.
won't specify that. So
Or the
sometimes,
separation.
yeah.
Okay.
But for the most part, I grew up with it, so I've been dealing with it my whole life. So I kind of learned to make the right moves when I
Yeah.
go out or I go shopping. Or
Yeah, Well, you definitely seem really confident about really reading labels and really making sure that you kind of know what you're putting in your body, especially going out to restaurants as well. So I think if you just maybe if you went to your physician to get tested again, that might help you kind of narrow down what nuts you might be allergic to. And I think that would be a really great start for you to kind of know where to go from here. So thanks for meeting with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.